Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. How are you guys doing? We are here today for the Inter 21-22 tier list. This is the definitive tier list of Inter season of Inter's players. We're going to judge every single player that we have on the roster, on the squad, using tiermaker.com, the website. So I haven't made so there might be, actually I think there might be Caicedo and Gosses missing because those two came in January within there, but everyone else should be on there. Yeah, we're gonna have a bit of fun talking about the season, and I can see plenty of you in the chat already. Let me give a shout out to the people that turned up. Iman, Mighty Mark, wait for Caicedo's rating. We'll have to do one without his picture there. And I can see everyone's talking about the Steven Zhang interview that's just been released. Hey Eduardo, how you doing, bro? About Inter becoming a sustainable project, or being a sustainable project. Its first objective, sporting result. Yeah. I have just read the interview, and guys, if you're coming on this channel, what have I been saying for months and months? Like, this is exactly what I've been talking about, that it might not be as bad as last summer, but it's still going to be. So I hope none of you has been, at least some of you have been listening to me, none of you has been caught by surprise. But this has been the situation for a while in my head, and that's what I've been promoting or saying on my channel, because I always say to you guys that I'm never gonna lie to you guys. I'm always gonna, even if it sounds like I'm being negative, that this is the reality of the situation, and this is it. Once again, it looks like we're gonna have to sell, but at least it looks like Inzaghi has said that he wants to remain competitive, but at the same time, it's gonna be another summer. I've been saying it's gonna be another summer of magic and miracle making by Auxilio and Marotta, because it's hard to keep your squad. Well, competitive is different, but challenging for a title or Scudetto winning caliber, challenging for Europe as well, or like being competitive in Europe, that's a whole different ball game. So it's gonna be, and it's gonna be, you guys know which guys are the four guys that are worthy transfer wise. Like, they've got the money, they've got the attraction level, they've got demand. Lautaro, Bastoni, Skriniar, Barella. So we shall see. We shall see about who's going to be sold, what's going to happen this summer. And today's stream is not going to be about this. I know, guys, this is what's the hot topic right now. So thank you everyone that's joined in: King Darian, Alan Poe, Matteo, Emiliano, Mighty Mao, Keston, Gerald, everyone that's in the house. I think Zhang might have something cooking the next season. Let's see. As always, I'm going to be here with you guys, living through this, talking through all the news that breaks. But today, guys, I'm going to look back rather than looking forward. Let's look back towards this season. Yeah, Suning can ruin everyone's day. Matthias at Iron Maiden concert. Enjoy. We need an hourly therapy session this summer. Is going to be crazy. I'll try, bro. I'll try, Mohammed. Big up you as well, White Suburban Kid. At least it's 60 million, no 100 million. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it happens. There's different ways of going about this 60 million net transfer positive that we need to make. But it might not be a sad summer, but it's going to be probably another difficult summer. Zhang talking about this is even a bad sign. So now into Eco Supermarket. Yeah. Everyone knows, guys. Even if Zhang doesn't say anything, everyone knows Inter's situation. Like, that's what I've been saying. All you need to do, guys, is look at Inter's accounts. You need to look at the loan, the 300 million loan that we taken out last summer. 12% interest rate, guys. Even that's on a 300 million loan. 12% interest rate is absolutely crazy. So you guys know. You should know that it was already a difficult situation. Tommy always coming through with the positivity. Smiley says, get rid of 23. His agenda against Barella continues. Nah. It's coming. Don't worry. He was into HQ today. He played at San Siro yesterday for Eto's charity game, so we got to see Onana at San Siro on the San Siro pitch already. But the official announcement should be coming soon. Seems like might be going to a 9-year hiatus. Yeah, that was the worry. Like, that's why I've been seeing that. That this season we had to win it, because I was already afraid of this summer. But let's not, start thinking that this is, banter era coming through already. Like, I agree with Matteo. Like, as long as this is the last thing I'm going to say now. As long as Marotta is there at the helm, and then he's got Ausilio, he's got Zanetti, we've got Antonello. Like, we've got a very good leadership level. Of course, our ownership isn't good, but our leadership in terms of making the team competitive will still be there. So that's it. That's the last thing I'll say on this. Now let's move on to the tier list, and I'm sharing my screen. So again, guys, I didn't make this, so I think there is a couple of players missing on this tier list made by tiermaker.com. Can you guys see that? Yeah, this looks like you guys can see. So let's sort of split into 5 categories. So of course, MVP, I don't need to say anything about that, but there could be multiple in that category. It doesn't have to be necessarily just one person in the MVP category. Then we'll talk about that. And then world class, the world class season, bene, good in Italian. So a good season. Meh, don't need to really explain meh. And then fuori dai coglioni, the bottom one, which means, get out of my club. Get out of my club. Diego says he managed to get a B2 on his English B1 exam. Your channel helped me a lot with listening. Hey, appreciate that. And I'm glad that in some way I managed to contribute to your English, Diego. I'm sure it's a great English anyway, even without my help. So where shall we start, guys? Shall we start with shall we get the bums out of the way, the ones that the fuori dai coglioni tier list out of the way, or which one shall we do? Let's see. Dios has to be in the MVP tier. I don't know about that one, mate. MVP, Brozovic and Perisic. Freddie Boss, yeah, I guess you already know what my thoughts are on that. Dimarco and Perisic have linked up amazingly. Yes, they have, Gerald. Let's start off with let's get the bums out of the way. I just want to get the bums out of the way so we can actually talk about the people that we want to talk about. So, Keston, I saw you in the comments, and Radu, of course, straight away we gotta get rid of Andre Radu. I mean, it's not even it's not just the Bologna game, but the Bologna game, unfortunately, it's just he just has to go. Like, I don't need to talk. I don't want to talk about him, too much. But the boy, I know Ahmed, it is harsh in terms of he only had one game. That's the only thing he has. But he's just like, what can we say? Like, and it's for him as well. Like, the guy has to go. Like, he has to go for himself. Like, he's just been sat on. Like, the guy he's Serie A level in terms of he should be for like a mid-table, lower tier, relegation battling. Like, he's proved that at Genoa that he's Serie A level, but he's just not Inter level, unfortunately, and he's too young to be a backup keeper, unfortunately. So Radu, fuori dai coglioni. I'm sorry, it is a little bit harsh. This is Sparta. Yeah, kick Radu into that pit, and he's gone. And yeah, now with the Handanovic renewal, Onana coming in, Handanovic in theory should become now the second keeper. So it is what it is. He has to go blood. He wasn't able to challenge Handanovic yet, not at all. Conte didn't rate him. Inzaghi didn't rate him. So clearly, Radu's sorry tier. And the only one he blew it. Yeah, it's all on him. This is football, guys. It's a harsh game. It's a harsh sport, but it is what it is. He was obviously shy. Yeah. Oh, yeah, actually, that's true. He had the Empoli game as well, and he wasn't particularly great in the Empoli game. So, and there's no need for him to stay 100%. He didn't get to start because Inter wanted it, just that Honda was better. Yeah, exactly. You can create a new tier below called Radu tier. Radu Nix Knox, of course. Okay. Joseph says Bologna was entirely Radu's fault. That said, I never want to see his face again. I think it's just that, as I said, that is the modern day Gresco moment. Like, even if he was a good keeper, he just for his sake, for our sake, just to not see his face. Like, it just cut ties. It is what it is. And yeah, I mean, did you see even Milanisti are like creating memes and creating Milan shirts with his name on it just because, yeah. Just for that, he has to go, unfortunately. Next one, Kolarov. I mean, he already knows he's fuori dai coglioni. He's getting fuori dai coglioni already. He's getting out. Like, there was rumors that he was going to be retired or whatever. But like, how many minutes did he even play this season? Like, I'm actually interested to see, like, how many minutes did Kolarov even manage to muster in the season? Let's have a look on Transfermarkt. No, that's not the one. Full squad details. No, that's not the one. Stats should be the one. Yeah, so stats. Let me share this other screen with you so I can show you exactly who are the like least minute wise. So so Zanotti 8 minutes, Caicedo 20 minutes, Satriano 33. So literally, he's not. Kolarov didn't even play a full half. He played 44 minutes. And then Radu actually played 210 minutes. So that just says everything. Like, I don't even like. And I remember with Kolarov, was it like he came on against Salernitana and like we almost conceded or something like that? So it's like ridiculous. So the Kolarov one, I don't even want to like speak on it too long because I just feel like it's wasted breath. He cut his salary to stay, fair play, but yeah, it's good to review him on the live. I know people were confused. Like, some people even asked me, like, wasn't he supposed to retire? Like, there was that rumor, but he didn't in the end. There's rumors that he might go into the coaching staff, but we'll see what happens there. Another one in the Fuori dai Coglioni tier. I guess we can put let's leave the guys that left in January as well, because Sensi just kind of left. I think we'll probably put Vecino in there. And again, this one might be a bit harsh just because like he's leaving anyway. His contract is expiring, so he is fuori dai coglioni anyway. But he just doesn't really contribute to anything. Like, the only worthwhile mention I can give to Vecino was he came on against Atalanta at the beginning of the season and he changed the match. Like, he had a really good impact. Came on as a substitute, almost scored a goal with a header, and then he started a game in the Champions League. I think it was against Shakhtar away. He started, and he just wasn't good. And then even then, like when he came on against Real Madrid, and I remember the goal that they scored, I think he was at fault for that. He left Camavinga completely free. And in terms of characteristics, he should be, coming on and having that impact, because he's kind of like that. He's only one of the few guys in this team is a goal-scoring midfielder type vibe in terms of getting into the box, heading threat, but he didn't really provide that this season. And it looks like he kind of gave up as well because he knows he's leaving at the end of the season. So, yeah, he wasn't good in the derbies. He was, I mean, we have to put respect on his name. Like, in last few years ago, he was a big game player, big goals as well. So, yeah, looks like you guys agree with me as well. Does the Sassuolo game? I can't remember. Maybe you might be right. The first Sassuolo game, I can't actually remember. Yeah, so Vecino, fuori da coglioni, but hopefully remembered fondly. Fuori dai coglioni. Who else would you guys put here? I mean, Cordas. I mean, I don't know where. I think Cordas, like, you can't really judge Cordas. He didn't even play, so we'll just keep him as the third. We'll just put him in the meh category. Any more suggestions for this Fuori dai Coglioni? Hey Mo, no, I'm gonna just try to be, because if I bring you on, Mo, it's gonna be like a 2-hour episode if we start speaking about every single tier. People are saying Vidal, Gagliardini, Gags, kick Gaglia out here. I mean, I agree that Gagliardini shouldn't be at the club, but at the same time, I feel like it's harsh to put him in like that category, because unlike Vecino, he usually comes on again. He's not like blowing out the water. Like there was a Spezia game where he scored. Where is he? Where even is he? Gagliardini. You see him. Oh, there. I would put him in the meh category, to be honest. How many minutes has he had this season? Yeah, he's at, again, not many. This is one of the things with Inzaghi. Like he hasn't really used our backups that much this season. Only 785 minutes. How many goals did he end up with? 2 goals, I believe. Yeah, 2 goals, 24 appearances. So I wouldn't. Yeah, I would put him in the meh. I would put him in the meh category, to be honest. Mo, I talked about just briefly at the beginning, like the Zhang interview already. Just not much. I've been saying, this is what I've been saying on my channel all last few months, and that as well. Like we had that conversation already. Like there's nothing new to me. We're having to sell players and try to be competitive somehow by selling players and having positive net transfer income. So another summer of miracles, to be honest. Yeah, everyone mostly agreed with me in terms of gags. Moving on to now Vidal. Yeah, I can see a lot of shouts for Vidal, Fuori dai Coglioni. But again, with Vidal, you guys know, like I am, like it's a banterous thing, my Vidal fan thing, because he's just a player that I have always liked, that is at Inter, but clearly way past his sell-by date, and he shouldn't be at Inter now, and he's earning way too much for what he contributes at Inter. But his, like when he stepped in, especially Champions League this season. If you guys let me get actually Vidal's, because in the Champions League this season he was actually in the group stage as well, not just the Liverpool games. In the group stage, he contributed quite well to our season. Let me share the screen to show you what I mean with Arturito. So go to the Champions League. So he had 1 goal and 2 assists, and he stepped up. He started against the what was that team? The Transnistrian team, Sheriff. He started both of those games against them, and he had 409 minutes in the Champions League, which is almost the amount of minutes he had in total in Serie A. So he actually was, he started the game against Liverpool in Barella's absence. And he started off well as well in the season. Like if you remember, like he the first few games he came on against Genoa, the first few games he was coming on, he was making a good impact, and it looked like he looked a lot better than he did under Conte, funnily enough. But then it just kind of reverted to, he started to get injuries again. He came on and he wasn't really making too much of an impact, to be honest. So definitely not Fuori dai Coglioni, even though he looks like he will be leaving anyway. But it looks like you guys are kind of, in between with Vidal. Vidal was good. Mo says he's good. Came in clutch a few times. Why is there Ericsson? Yeah, I said I didn't make this. It's probably someone who made this at the beginning of the season. I don't know why Ericsson's face is there. Freddie says Vidal was much better this season, but not on that salary exactly. Bene for Vidal. Vidal played against Liverpool. Yeah, he did play against Liverpool, as I said. Vidal was better this season than last. I don't think he was better this season than last. I think he made less mistakes this season, because last season, remember, it was the red card against Real Madrid, the penalty away at Gladbach, the penalty against Crotone. I think he looked fitter this season than he looked last season, because there's definitely something wrong last season with him, and then he had to get that surgery. I don't know about that, Future Hendrix. Stick on the topic, bro. Stick on the topic. We're into gonna have a lottery. Can we name whoever our stars? Yeah, Dino. We're not gonna talk about that today already. mentioned that. I don't know. I don't feel like, as a Vidal fan, like as you guys, I'm very objective. I'm a fan of these guys, but I'm gonna be objective. Like I needed more contribution from Vidal off the bench in some matches, for his experience as well. Like, I just feel like he should have been like more like that Ibra factor. Like, even if he isn't playing, I don't. It doesn't seem like he is that guy, the go-to guy in the dressing room um is he giving, well, we don't know, we don't have the cameras in the dressing room, but is he giving team talks, is he like giving that extra motivation to the players, or giving that extra bit of experience to the players? We'll get on to Dzeko in a minute. There should be a solid category for Vidal. What we'll do afterwards, is I'll give you a chance to change afterwards some of these ratings. We'll move on, because otherwise we'll be here forever. For now, I'm going to leave him in the meh category. Let's move on to now. I'm just going to go player by player as it's listed here. Matty Doms. I think he's had a good season, Matty Doms. But maybe there needs to be like a tier between Bene and world class. But I feel like he's definitely in the Bene category. Let's have a look in terms of his stats. I don't think stats wise, I don't think he'll blow us out of the water for sure, because I don't think he had many goals and assists at all. 2,046 minutes, and stats wise, he was at only 2 goals and 1 assist, 4 yellow cards, played both sides of the pitch. I think Bene. Yeah, reliable, always reliable. Matty Doms, always reliable. And even if you've seen it, even towards the end of the season now, like in the Coppa Italia final, he started ahead of Dumfries, then he started against Cagliari as well. Like, he's actually, been challenging for the right wing back starting spot. So I agree. It looks like everyone's happy with Bene. My boy Christian Rivas in the house as well. Toro MVP, pick Toro, Skriniar, Brozovic, Perisic, but Perisic main MVP. Yeah, we'll get to those as well. He was consistent for us, played well. Darmian was good. He's in the middle. Him and Brick Freeze rotated quite okay. Yeah, 100%. Greetings, everyone. Darmian, definitely Bennett. Yeah, we can move on. Definitely there. Now, this one's an interesting one. I want to see if Mo is still here, what he thinks of this one. Stefan de Vrij, guys. Stefan de Vrij, what are you telling me? This one is an interesting one, because this one I think is going to get some really harsh ones, and maybe some ones that are more fair with him, because he's had a difficult season, de Vrij. Let's not lie. I'm not going to lie. He's had a difficult season, de Vrij, and he's made some mistakes along the way, which have cost us. The own goal in the derby, I wouldn't blame him directly, because I was just very unlucky. But the penalty against Napoli, the mistake, again, I still don't want to give that mistake to de Vrij against Giroud, because like Giroud getting half a second to shoot on goal, like, to me, isn't a mistake. That was Handanovic's mistake there. He's even had more injuries than in recent seasons as well, de Vrij. And he hasn't looked as comfortable in general in this team, with the style of defending that we have, with the slightly more. And he looks like less fit, to be honest. He just looked a little bit off. De Vrij Bene by standards, but meh. Yeah, I like that. That's probably the right way to put it. De Vrij Bene. Future Enix Bene. I'm gonna go with Bene. Easy. Bene. Emiliano says world class. No, definitely no. I don't think he can go in world class. Unfortunately, he cannot be world class. It has to be either Bene or Meh. Meh by standards, but Bene overall. Bene, the mistake do not erase the season. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are not actually too harsh on him. I was expecting people to be really harsh. Can't see Mo's comment, because I know Mo was not a big fan of him at all this season. De Vrij not enough pace for Inzaghi ball. Yeah, he just looks really clunky this season. And yeah, you can definitely see that he's starting to decline. But I'm going to put him in the bayonet category still because, we still have, overall, the guys, we still have the joint second best defense in the league, don't we? Or it might be third now, actually. But it's still, very good defensive numbers. So it's not a disaster season, but definitely not to the standards that we've been recently used to the Vrij. And yeah, he might be one of the ones that are leaving this season for sure. Perisic, you guys know, MVP. He is my MVP of the season for Inter. Like best player of the season for me. In terms of minutes as well, like this guy was right up there. Where is he? He's fourth in the whole squad in terms of minutes in a role that's very demanding. Like absolute machine. 10 goals as well. Like it's just a complete killer season. And then even if we look at other stats in terms of you got 8 goals and 6 assists just in the league. That's like proper winger numbers, attacking winger numbers. And if we look at like stats, like if we go on FBref stats, like absolute monster. Look at that, like compared to other fullbacks or wingbacks, like 0.21 goals per 90, 0.19 assists per 90. Like look at that, like high percentiles. Look at that, like 97th percentile. Look, greens all along. Expected assists, key passes. Like look at that, almost 2 key passes per 90. Passes into the penalty, crosses into the penalty area, crosses. Yeah, like heading, 3.41 shot creating actions from open play, 0.38 goal creating. Oh my goodness, like absolutely monstrous. Look at that pressures as well. Like the guy is just an absolute machine. Touches in the attacking third, touches in the attacking penalty area. Like look at that. Only Dumfries gets more than him. This isn't compared to in the top 5 leagues, by the way. These stats comparisons. Progressive carries into the penalty area, as really as well, like progressive passes received. So it means that the players are looking for him in attacking positions. Aerials as well, like he's such a massive part of our defensive side and attacking side. Like just amazing by Ivan Perisic. And yeah, hoping he signs that contract, sign the thing. And yeah, everyone looks like easy MVP. And yeah, this is the Perisic that we've been wanting in terms of consistency. We've always known he's had this in him, but he just hasn't shown it on a consistent basis. Yeah, we just looks like he just needed that year at Bayern Munich to come back as a beast once again. Yeah, so Ivan Perisic, MVP of the season. Let's go back on the tier maker list once again. We're gonna ignore what's his name, Ericsson. I don't know why it is there. Satriano, yeah, we can't say anything about Satriano, but it looks like he's at a good loan spell there. Sensi as well. We gotta ignore Sensi. Who's at he actually didn't have such a good loan spell. Like he had a good loan spell at Sampdoria in terms of minutes and actually staying fit. Although he was unfit for the Inter match, funnily enough. But yeah, interesting to see what happens with Sensi. Now, Hakan, I want to hear about Hakan, who Dino says he's the one who snatched Pioli's medal. I wouldn't be surprised if it actually was. I think Hakan has to be world-class season for me. Has to be world-class season. I think, I've seen people even give him shouts for MVP, which I wouldn't be against too hardly, but I think he's definitely done better than, I and you guys know the interesting thing about me, having this channel, everything is, you can see what I've been saying for a long time. I've never been a fan of Hakan, and even when we signed him, I wasn't a big fan of him, but I supported him from day one. And especially at the beginning, he didn't have a great start, and people were getting on his back. And I was like, I was, going with Ahmad. We were, like Hakan FC at the beginning. Like I was like, let's get behind this guy. He's coming from the cousins. Let's give this guy time. Inzaghi wants to make him his Luis Alberto. He wants to turn him into this mezzala, and he has. This guy has turned into a complete center midfielder. Like I had never expected this guy to turn into a complete mezzala. Like this guy tackles, he runs, he tracks back. He's become very smart in terms of his tracking the runs as well, and he's become like instrumental. Like Inzaghi just can't. He just always starts this guy. And in terms of minutes played this season, he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th in the team in terms of minutes played, 3,357 minutes. And in terms of stats, he's got, 8 goals, guys. Like absolutely ridiculous. I didn't expect this guy to contribute this many goals. And then if we go in terms of league, 7 goals and 12 assists in the league. I know primarily most of them are not in open play, but I don't care about, what if you want to call him corner man, all that kind of stuff. This guy, has been absolutely a revelation and world class. And I did not expect this. I did not expect it. And I see everyone is agreeing with me. Stat wise, yeah, if you look maybe straight stats, Diego, you could see, yeah, you look at the stats, in the league, 7 goals, 12 assists, and overall like 10 goals. Like you'd think, he's a MVP level stats, 20 GA on a free, exactly like on as a free transfer. Like we're a great transfer, but I don't think he's quite MVP level, but he's definitely right up there. World class is right, Steven says, stuck in and great deliveries. Yeah. We're already good at corners and set pieces, but this guy has made us step up to another level. Hakan has been the most underrated out of the 3, world class. Yeah. One contribution he's done for Overload. I was surprised. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And he's, and then, yeah, the extra, sprinkling the fact that this guy makes Milan fans cry. And Milan players. This guy is part of the trophy celebrations at the moment, rent free in their heads. Benetton players don't live rent free in Milanisti head. Yeah, yeah. And even when you look at FB Ref, he's 90. He's the best in the top 5 leagues in terms of assists per 90, expected assist, shot creating actions, 5.5 shot creating actions, which obviously most of them come from corners and set pieces, but still. There's still, he's still contributing key passes as he always was, even at Milan. 0.12 non-penalty goals per 90, so it's not too bad, non-penalty goals, but obviously you could do better there. But yeah, I think if this is, his first year as a mezzala, I think, yeah, as Mauti Mal says, come back even better maybe next season. Second year as a mezzala, could be even better. So yeah, world-class season from Hakan. Danilo D'Ambrosio. Let's move on to Danilo D'Ambrosio, DD33. I think in terms of minutes, he hasn't had that many minutes, to be honest. Yeah, he is. Where is he? Minutes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14th in the team in terms of minutes played. So, he's definitely not a starter, as we know, but I think he stepped, unlike Vidal for me, or like the other guys that we put in there, like Gagliardini, I think he's stepped in at really key moments where we've needed him, like Juventus away, and he just stepped in. One thing with the D'Ambrosio, though, is like he hasn't provided the goals that we expected from D'Ambrosio. He's only got the 1 this season, which is, he's a defender, so we shouldn't expect goals from D'Ambrosio anyway. But with D'Ambrosio, it's you'd expect more goals from him because we've got used to those far post goals that he does for us. So yeah, for me, for the minutes he played, Bene. If possible, I put him between Bene and world class. If he was fine for the first game, but I don't go that good from. I think you're talking about still Hakan there. But yeah, he had a beginning difficult period at the beginning, of course, getting used to the new role, new team. Cool with Bene. No worries, Amira. Benny, I really liked him as a centre back. Yeah, very, very underrated. World class just for his performance against Liverpool. Yeah, he pocketed Mane and always ready to give 120%. Yeah, I think we can move on. Benny for the DD33, and he's definitely staying once again next season. Now, this one's an interesting one. Smiley, I'm watching you. Don't start with the agenda straight away. This is another one. If we look straight stats, Barella is MVP level, even better than last season stats wise. But we know as Inter fans, guys, we know that this is not the real Barella. This is Barella probably tired from, last season, COVID period, straight into the Euros, not really getting any rest, not really getting any rotation from Inzaghi, not being able to trust the substitutes. His style of play in general being super high intensity, all action. But at the end of the day, and you guys know I'm quite harsh with Barella just because my expectations with Barella is right up here, and I'm more harsh with the better players rather than the substitutes, where I feel like a lot of you guys are harsh on the substitute players, but you let these starters get away with less. And you have, like, in the fan base, quite rightly, there's favorites, and Barella, because he's the Italian, young Italian, the future captain, he's always been like the favorites. But I've seen a switch. I've seen a switch in this season with Barella, because people have started to get annoyed with his arm throwing and his attitude and some of his performances. But at the end of the day, he's fifth in the team in terms of minutes, like 3,870 minutes. Stat wise, he's got 4 goals this season. We expected more, and in the league, he's got 12 assists. And we were asking for this, step up, and he stepped up in terms of assists, but not stepped up in terms of goals. So we were still waiting for that goals step up from Barella. But to me, it has to be a world class season, like 12 assists, guys. Like, that's ridiculous. And some of them are kind of stat padding assists, like 2-yard assists and things like that, which I make fun of him for. But at the same time, like, he's just, and he's turned up towards the end of the season. He stepped up once again. Like, he's stepped up once again. I think by his standard, it's not a great season, but I just can't overlook those. Like, he's right up there with Hakan and Milinkovic-Savic in terms of goal contributions. Where is Smiley? I want to see his Smiley. Yeah, there he is. Man, he's just about 5 great games this season, 2 of them against Cagliari, Salernitana. One reason against Arsenal, because I expect better. Yeah, no, I expect definitely more from Barella. But I think the Supercoppa final, the Coppa Italia final, he stepped up. And even when he doesn't play well, he does battle. He does always battle. But I am tempted to put him in the Bene as well. Like, I don't feel like he's a solidified world class for me. Like, I am torn between a Bene and a world class for Barella, to be honest. And again, guys, this is not. I'm not calling. I can see some of you guys saying, like, yeah, exactly. Stats don't tell the full story. Yeah, I disagree with that, Gerald. I think he's definitely had a few more bad games than that. Yeah, I knew this one was going to be the one where, guys were going to have a lot more disagreement on. This is, high expectation, probably tied from the Euros. Yeah. By the end of the day, I'm not judging him. I'm not judging him from what the excuses are, or what there's a proper excuse. But I'm not, the world class there is not. I'm not saying is he a world class player. I'm talking about is a world class season, because Barella is a world class player, but has he had a world class season? That's what I'm saying, Adriel. I'm not talking about is he scored a world class goal or is he a world class player. For me, Barella is a world class player, but has he had a world class season? Like, stats wise, he's probably done better than last year, but I think he had a better season last year. And he was, MVP of midfielder in Serie A last year, and he was contender for MVP for Inter last season. It was between him and Lukaku and Skriniar, the MVP last year. I remember very vividly Barella being up for MVP of the season for us, which he isn't for this season. So I think he's had a season that's just a notch below. But we probably need a category in between world class and Bene, ideally. But I'm not gonna make one now. I'm just gonna keep it as it is there. Yeah, I think just 12 assists is just, where else are you gonna find 12 assists, guys? It has to be a world class season still. With the asterisk of we know he can do much better, which is scary, right? 4 goals, 12 assists, and we're saying that this guy needs to do much better. But yeah, hopefully no World Cup for him in December. Maybe he finally gets the rest that he needs and deserves, and he can finally return to his levels. As I said, guys, I'll give you the chance to change one ranking in voting afterwards. And then you can we can change one that you really disagree. And yeah, exactly, Ahmad. And yeah, Barella played too many games, didn't recuperate. This affected his play. He had a good season. Without his contribution, we wouldn't be anywhere near where we finished yet. Exactly. So I'm going to keep him there for now, and then we can see. Now, another one of my boys. Tuku Correa. What we saying, boys? Tuku Correa, ice cold Tuku, turned up on the last game of the season when it doesn't matter once again. Only scores in twos. This guy, two. It suits the song because he only scores in twos. This guy. Injury affected season, heavily injury affected season. Played less minutes than Sanchez, Vidal, and D'Ambrosio. Only 1,317 minutes. Still ended up having 36 appearances, but no, a lot of them were just like 10, 15-minute appearances. 6 goals in total. Let's see what he had in other. 6 goals, 1 assist in total for the league, and then he had the assist in the Coppa Italia as well. Obviously, in terms of the grill merchant, of course, all the memes about him being grill merchant, football drone in the house is all what's up, bro. The transfer market wise, in terms of 31 million, flop for sure, which we were expecting because he was never worth. I've said it, even though I'm a Tuku Correa fan, this guy is not worth 31 million. Never gone past double figure goals in his life, and it looks like he probably never will. But at the same time, guys, looking past the stats, as in, stats don't tell the full picture. 6 goals isn't good enough, but there was a period up until the Bologna game that every game that Correa started in, he won. There was a 100% win rate, which wasn't a coincidence because every time Tuku played, Inter played better. There's no denying that. If you watch football with your eyes, you see that he is better than Dzeko, Lautaro. He was better. He was a better partnership, especially him and Lautaro. Even Dzeko Correa was good, as we saw against Hellas Verona. But Dzeko Lautaro clearly was a better partnership than all the others. We probably do need some more tiers, but I wanted to keep it simple because then you get down too granular and it gets too complicated. But I wanted to keep it kind of simple. His debut definitely made us all dream, especially for the people that didn't know about Tuku, that maybe this guy could be some mad goal scorer. The injuries definitely affected him. And again, I am very objective, even with players I really like. You guys know I'm a Correa fan, but it hasn't been good. So I don't think I can put him in the Bene category. But I think, we'd need to give him. I think we can give him another season. I think we can give him another season. I think we need to give him another season, especially if he is injury free. You saw against Sampdoria what he can add, like finally adding those kind of open play runs, individual moments coming, and we might see all the Argentinians linking up next season. So I think he has to be meh, to be honest. Has to be meh. Sorry, Tuku. Now, Oh, this one is gonna be funny. Funny. Edin Dzeko, guys. Edin, the Swan, Il Chino, the Swan from Sarajevo. Ah, what are you guys telling me about Edin Dzeko? Because his season is so funny. It's split into two, Edin Dzeko season, because he could have even been MVP level first half of the season. And he was like one of the most improved players of Serie A in the first half of the season. But then the second half of the season, my goodness, he fell off an absolute cliff. But at the same time, was he to blame? Because when you look at minutes played, guys, minutes played, Edin Dzeko is sixth in our squad, and it shouldn't be. And it shouldn't be that. This guy should not play 3,371 minutes. This guy should be playing around 2,000 minutes. Like he should be playing the minutes that D'Ambrosio, Darmian has played, Arturo Vidal, Sanchez. Like this guy should have been not the guy that we're relying on for like their life to take us out of situations. And at the same time, guys, he did at the beginning of the season. He scored some vital goals. He scored the goals in Champions League, and I wanna remind you guys, because this ratings are not just for Serie A, guys. You have to remember about Champions League, because by this stage of the season, a lot of you guys start to forget about Champions League, but you need to remember Champions League too, where a certain Lautaro didn't turn up. This guy turned up. This guy scored the vital goals that took us past the group stage in the Champions League against Shakhtar, against Sheriff. This guy scored the important goals that even Lukaku wasn't able to score last season. Napoli away, he scored the equalizing goal. Venezia, remember, last minute winner. Like this guy scored some really, really important goals this season. So I know he's become a bit of a meme, especially towards the end of the season, and everyone's really started to hate on him. But he's 36 years old. Like like similar to Hakan, like this guy's done a lot more than I ever really expected from him. Like what more do you want from this guy? Steven, yeah, I agree. It's world class until January, and Inzaghi just drained this guy. Like I really, I mean, I can't completely blame Inzaghi on everything, but he did really overuse him, in my opinion. And yeah, of course, management's fault as well. Like this guy in a attacking team like Inter, where we need someone to be running in behind defenses, like, and misused as well. Like this guy was really playing as like an attacking midfielder, center mid for half of the season as well. So yeah, I definitely cannot put him in the meh category. And you should evaluate yourself if you're putting him in the meh category, to be honest, because I don't know what more you want from 36 years old. Like he's given us everything he can possibly do. And yeah, it's cool. He kept scoring against Roma as well. Like he scored against Roma in the Coppa Italia, scored against Roma in the league. Like, he turned up in some big matches, scored against Juve in the first game as well. But he always misses chances. Like he's always done that as well. Like we knew about that. And he was I think we paid, like, it was a free transfer where we paid Roma like 1.5 million for once we qualified for Europe. Yeah, literally used him like there was nothing left of this guy by the end of the season. So I think Bene for sure. Now, Lautaro Martinez. This is another really interesting one. I saw Christian earlier put him in his MVP category. One of the most opinion-splitting players of this season, because there was one stage where people came on my channel every single stream and it was like, don't start Lautaro, sell this guy. What is this guy? Who is this guy? Wow, how can we rely on this guy? But at the end of the day, Dzeko ended up 17 goals, and then this guy has 25 goals. And this is what we wanted. We wanted a 25, 30 goal scoring season from Lautaro. This is what we gave him the big contract for. We wanted him to step up. And he did, but only towards the end, really. Towards the end. And again, he showed his inconsistencies, which is what we always known him for, even under Conte. It looks like people are edging towards a Bene / world class. And yeah, he did pretty much disappear for 2 months, which is, for me, the reason why we didn't win the Scudetto, those 2 months where, no, it wasn't just him, but everyone went missing. And the penalties, guys, the penalties. Yeah, this season, Lautaro has a 57% conversion rate. That is awful. He missed and the important one that he missed, the one against Milan in the first derby against Tatarusanu, the second goalkeeper. Is and even you look at but then you go to the stats with Lautaro and goals per minute wise, he is right up there. Like if I pull up his goals per minute on FBref. And again, that is as usual skewed as it always was on the Conte as well, because he doesn't finish 90 minutes pretty much ever. It means that his goal per 90 is really good because he doesn't actually compete 90 minutes. He usually completes 70 to 75 minutes. But 0.69 goals per 90 is a very, very respectable, very good amount, right up there with Vlahovic, Immobile, and all them boys there. Non-penalty goes really good. But the problem is, and yeah, when you look at the XG as well, he's not doing too bad. But I saw that on Understat, he's unlike Immobile, unlike Vlahovic, unlike Simeone. Tammy is actually one other guy that has underperformed, but he's underperformed his XG according to the Understat and Dzeko as well. And I'm probably going to make a video about how Inter strike or like Inter's goal scorers let us down this season. But Inter underperformed their XG, and that is because of our strikers. So for me, he can't be MVP level because he just went missing for too long. And then there was that the matches as well, like Juventus away, he had 8 touches. There was that match where we came back from international break and he didn't go to Argentina. So I was like, yeah, Lautaro's fully rested, big game player. And that's the thing as well, we always called him a big game player, and I don't really feel like he's turned up in big games like he did in the Coppa Italia in the end. But then the final against Juve, he won the penalty. He wasn't that great. Juve, the first game, he wasn't that great. I just don't feel like he's really stepped up in big games. Champions League, 0 goals in the Champions League. So he can't be MVP for me. He was way too inconsistent. So for me, I have to put him in the I think he has to be a world-class category for sure, because when you score 25 goals, it has to be, that's you getting into the world-class category of top strikers. But again, I expect more from Lautaro, Barella. Like, these guys are guys that I really like, and so I expect more from these guys. So yeah, I can see a lot of people are saying Bene category as well, but for me, it has to be world class in terms of the numbers he put up in the end. But again, there's definitely room for improvement. Yeah. And that's what he needs to address. Like, even if he scores around this number of goals next season as well, but he needs to spread those out a little bit more and not stat pad against Salernitana and bully the little teams. We need some more goals here and there. And he needs to understand that he shouldn't take penalties as well. If Hakan and Perisic are on the pitch, he shouldn't be taking penalties for sure. And yeah, of course, he was affected by the no chemistry with Dzeko as well. But at the same time, why Dzeko should get the same excuse as well? Like, he's like, at the same time, this guy, as I'm saying, like, his touch a lot of times was missing. His build up game, his passing, his assist. Like, how many assists did he have this season? Like, Dzeko, actually, one thing with Dzeko, like, going back to Dzeko actually ended up with a lot of assists this season. Yeah, in Serie A, he's got 13 goals and six assists. and Lautaro has 3 assists, and Dzeko won a few penalties as well. There's like, you got to give Dzeko credit outside of that as well. Like Lautaro always gets the excuse that Dzeko's next to him, but it's just like, and yeah, he scored. But he scored. I mean, I'm talking about in the Champions League. I'm talking about in the group stage. Yeah, he scored the goal against the Van Dijk in Liverpool. But again, very low XG goals. That's the thing with Lautaro as well. He scores a lot of these low XG goals, but then he misses a lot of the low XG, the high XG goals, the ones that he's supposed to be scoring, like Sassuolo. And there's a reason why Lautaro apologized to the Curva Nord fans twice this season. He apologized after the Sassuolo game, remember? And then he apologized after the Milan derby. He knows that he's dropped some games here and there. So for me, I'm pretty happy with Lautaro being in that category, to be honest. I'm gonna hurry up now, to be honest, guys. We're getting to the hour mark. Brozovic goes into the MVP category. I don't need to speak too much about Brozovic. Again, stats don't tell the full story here. Stats-wise, this is one of his worst seasons at Inter. Brozovic only scored 3 goals this season, which usually averages around 4, 5, 6 goals and some assists, because he also takes corners as well, which he didn't this season because of Hakan. But this is his best season since he's been at Inter. Brozovic, I'm glad that he signed the contract. When we've missed him, we've really, really missed him. So yeah, Brozovic easily MVP category, best midfielder in the Serie A, as he was awarded quite rightly. Denzel Dumfries. Now this is an interesting one as well, because he had a difficult beginning, which obviously we expected, because he's coming from the Eredivisie, different role. Majority of his time he played as a fullback rather than a wing back. Big shoes to replace in terms of Hakimi. And then he ended up the season with 5 goals, which is, not bad at all. We could have had a few more in terms of how he was moving and, his heading ability. Non-penalties, he's really high up there in terms of 0.18 non-penalty goals per 90, 0.18 assists, 83rd. So he's in the top 20 percentile. But I feel like there's more that we can get from Dumfries, and I don't feel like that's a world-class season. I mean, as we said towards the end of the season, Darmian has even overtaken him in a couple of matches, because a lot of the times it almost feels like he stops some of the attack. Like you can just see like some of the attacks kind of just go and die when he's at his feet, because he just doesn't have that 1v1 ability or the confidence to take on players. So I see some calls for world class, but I think it's a banner season. I think it's a good season. Yeah, that's a good wrap up by Alexander. Meh beginning, obviously he struggled a little bit, then banner season, but there is definitely, I think with Dumfries defensively he's very solid, and if he can just take up a little step up attacking wise, and yeah, just be a little bit less clumsy with the ball, I think there's that category that he can go up to the next level, and finishing the season with 5 goals and 5 assists. That's pretty good for a first season, and 14 million euros from PSV. I think a very good season, and one of our most improved players. Oh yeah, I want to say world class easily. Yeah, I think he's just a smart signing. I think that's smart signing. World class for bullying Theo. Yeah, I mean he's had a good battle with Theo. I wouldn't say bullying Theo. I think he needs to get a goal or like a dominating performance against Theo. But we're getting there. We're getting there with Dumfries. I'm happy with the Bene category. Dimarco, oof. Dimarco is a funny one, because he's been disrespected a lot. I feel like Dimarco, because of some of his cameos weren't good earlier on in the season, maybe, and maybe as a left wing back he was underwhelming. But I remember some good matches where I think there was that Empoli match where he was kind of almost like man of the match. It was really good performance. And then he stepped in Bastoni's absence. I mean, that Bologna game, I know some people are like blaming him for that goal, but like he literally can't grow and beat Arnautovic in the air. Like, what can he literally do there? And then he's come on, he's changed a lot of matches, like the Coppa Italia final. Like, he's made a lot of impact games where he's come on because of his attacking ability, beautiful left foot. And when you look at his stats on FB Ref, like some of his stats in terms of, key passes, chances created, like he's ranking really high, especially per 90, because again, like Lautaro, he doesn't complete 90 minutes. So I'm torn between meh and Bene, but to be honest, I think he's done well. I think some people are like too harsh on this guy. I expected more from Dimarco. I think he's one of those players where I expected a little bit more, or I thought he's going to be like starting left wing back by the end of the season, which obviously didn't happen. But I think, and yeah, he got probably one of the goals of the season. Let's not forget his Sampdoria penalty, free kick goal. Really, really good free kick. But he also missed that penalty against Atalanta at the beginning of the season. That win against Atalanta could have, put us in a completely different situation. And yeah, he's shown that he's really like a proper Interista. Like, and I'm not going to give any extra bonus points for that kind of stuff, but he did show that. And he did really change the Juventus game. And, against Juventus, the one, when we won away at Juventus, stepped in for Bastoni. Away at Napoli, stepped in for Bastoni really, really well. So, yeah, I think I would put him in the Bene category, to be honest. Ranocchia, I just put him in the meh category. I'm not going to spend too much time. Thank you for all your service. Stepped in, great goal against Empoli, but he did have a nightmare that game. But he didn't really have that many minutes either to really contribute too much. I would just put him in the meh. Skriniar, MVP category, for sure. Again, similar to Brozovic, not much needs to be said. Should have been maybe defender of the year for Serie A. Bremer won it, but I think it was between him and Bremer. Not too angry that Bremer won it, but I think it was another season where, last season Romero won it for Atalanta. So I feel like they should give one to Skriniar one of these days, man. It's getting harsh on him not winning defender of the year. But yeah, this guy just a beast. Not much need to be said. And what is in minutes wise, Skriniar, again, he's one of those guys that he's second, just on oh my goodness, 4,380 minutes, guys, Skriniar has played. Like just 200 on Handanovic. Like this guy is ever present. Because even when Bastoni stepped out, there was a period where he started playing in the middle of the three. Oh, sorry, when Vrij stepped out. Like so good. Like injuries wise, just reliable, amazing. Future captain, of course, as you guys know, for me. Yeah, MVP level. Sanchez, this is a difficult one because the Super Cup winning goal was amazing. That Roma goal was amazing. Stats wise, actually, he's not going to be too bad because again, he doesn't really complete 90 minutes. So goals and assists per minute ratio at Sanchez always looks really good because he manages to contribute for the few minutes he has. Yeah, in the league, he has 5 goals, 2 assists, and 1 goal and 1 assist in the Champions League. So it's not bad at all, but I don't know. It's similar to like Vidal is like maybe he should be contributing a bit more. But I think Bene, I think it's, even just for that goal against Juve, I think he's in the Bene category. I think it's just because he doesn't get enough minutes, Keston. I know you're a big Sanchez fan, but I think it's just because he doesn't get enough minutes. Unfortunately, we can't put him in the world-class category. The cage line, and especially towards the end, he barely got any minutes towards the end. I don't know what happened between him and Inzaghi. And Nino Maravilla, of course. Yeah, I think Bene category fits him. And he has to go, as Freddie says. I think I'll leave Handanovic for last. Let's put Bastoni. This is another interesting one as well because he had a difficult beginning of the season where I called him out, and I thought that maybe it's the Euros hangover, or maybe he's getting a little bit complacent, or just a difficult beginning that people can have drop of form. But then he picked it up for sure, became a really important. I was always he's massively important to this team. But I don't know if he's at a world-class season, to be honest. Because he's one of those that, I feel like he's one of those that seems like you can't really criticize with Inter fans because he's like, the golden boy Inter fan and, young Italian, he's the one that's like probably highest value within our team, really good on the ball. But I still see a lot of lapses defensively sometimes, physically you can just see he's not really, he hasn't got that build for a proper centre back, and he does a lot of his better work going forward, really, especially Inter most of the time are attacking. But I don't know, and yeah, he's got a few injuries as well this season. So he wasn't particularly reliable injury wise, especially towards the end. I don't know if he's had some sort of issue. But at the same time, I think he was better than Vrij. So I struggled to put him in the in kind of the bayonet category if Vrij is there. And yeah, pretty much he's kind of played as pretty much like a left back, pretty much like you could say in the system, because he's always going up most of the time because he's so comfortable on the ball and he's much better on the ball than Skriniar. So it makes sense that he goes up more than Skriniar. He's built like Busquets. Yeah, it's a good comparison. But I'll put it. Yeah, I think for Bastoni there definitely needs to be a category in between world class and Bene. But I'll put him in the world class, I think. And yeah, he might be one of the sacrificed in the summer if Conte comes calling or Man City come calling. Yeah, and he's definitely one of the ones that plays for the badge. Yeah, Noor, we already talked about briefly what Steven Zhang said. So it's what I've been saying on this channel for a while. And then finishing off with Handanovic. Again, Handanovic is a funny one because he had a shaky start to the season, made some mistakes. Usual, the laser saves. But I feel like he's picked up towards the end of the season, and we really can't complain too much with what Handanovic ended up doing, especially after what happened with Radu. I mean, it's like, what are you going to complain about now? It's like a bet if that Radu moment didn't happen, the people would have been in the me fuori dai coglioni category. But because of what happened with Radu and in general, I actually can't recall a mistake from Handanovic towards the end of the season when, the games were important, against Juve, the big matches, against Milan, he should have saved that shot on, Giroud. I remember Spezia away, there's a few matches that don't come to me now, but there was definitely a few performances that weren't good. But he picked it up towards the end, and with his feet has just been really reliable. So I think he goes in the Bene category. He just goes in the Bene category, and I think you guys pretty much agree. Besides is either world class or disaster class. That Vlahovic save in the final, yeah, that was a good save. I mean, yeah, that was a good save. Ben is more than enough for him. Yeah, I agree. Sampdoria away. Oh yeah, that one was one. Yeah, that was not a good performance. Should have saved both of Liverpool's goals in the first leg. Yeah, the first one, the Firmino one, when I looked at it afterwards for sure, and then the other one was deflected. I'm not sure about that one. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bene. I'm going with Bene. Yeah, that's it. I know I said we'll change one, but we're going for 1 hour and 10. I'm pretty happy with that. And obviously, you guys know out of the three MVPs, Perisic is the MVP for me. I don't know about obviously you guys can, if you say Brozovic or Skriniar, I wouldn't even disagree with you. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with that list, to be honest. Only Radu, Vecino, and Kolarov in the worst category. So 3 in the best category, 3 in the worst category, and everyone towards the middle. And then we'll see, what happens with Satriano and Sensi. Caicedo, definitely, the boy that never even played. Gosens, we'll have to just put him in the meh category. Because we just didn't really get to see enough of him. But what we did see was good, but not enough of what we saw at the moment in terms of injuries as well. Gosens. Caicedo should have his own category of like holiday, or this guy's just drinking cocktails or whatever. Inzaghi, let's rate Inzaghi. Inzaghi, I mean, 2 trophies. Managing Suning. I mean, you guys are moaning about Suning, and then, at the same time, we have to be realistic that Inzaghi is managing this Suning situation as well. Like they gave him a weaker team, but at the same time, they gave him a weaker team, but they didn't ask to win the Scudetto from him, which he kept bragging about afterwards. But I think you see like a lot of, potential with Inzaghi. 2 trophies under his belt, beating Juventus 3 times, guys. Conte used to get smacked around by Juve. Oh, wow. Speaking of Juve, look who the hell comes into the into the chat. My boy G, just Juve MVP to bottle it. But that's the thing. I think bottle it is quite harsh on Inzaghi, because I feel like the players bottled it at the end of the day. But at the same time, the fact that this young Milan team won it, is on Inzaghi. Some of the lack of rotation is on Inzaghi. The fact that he used Dzeko like a bar of soap is on Inzaghi. The fact that he kept going with Dzeko Lautaro is on Inzaghi. But beautiful Champions League campaign in terms of group stage, got out of the group stages, good football against Real Madrid, showing that we can, be at that level with a few signings against Liverpool, beating Liverpool away. Only the only team to do that in this season. Winning finals. And then the goals. If Lautaro misses a penalty and Dimarco misses a penalty, there's a whole month. Well, the whole month is on him as well. The 7 points in 7 games month. And then Radu as well. Radu Gate. Like, what can you literally do about that? So I would say I would put him in the Bene category, to be honest. I would put him in the Bene category. I mean, he smacked Allegri around all season, but then the Milan derbies, he wasn't quite good enough, apart from the Coppa Italia. He didn't get the result needed, which is, pretty much where we lost the title, the second derby. Correa was always injured, and Lex is inconsistent. And then he didn't really, in the end, this depth wasn't that great, but it was good enough for Serie A. I always maintain that. I would go with Bene. But I think he needed to get more out of his rotations and just use, the strikers a bit better, although Correa was injured for ages as well. And then maybe Radu didn't need to be brought out of the cold like that as well, like against Bologna. Like, that is a mistake as well. Like, he bringing in a guy in the cold at the end of the season for a match, like a match clinching, like such a big match as well. If you give Radu more game time, or if you bring in Cordas, the guy with more experience. But nitpicking now. I think for me, it was a good season. So if you say world class, I wouldn't disagree with you. But it's just still have the amaro in bocca, as they say in Italian. The bitter taste in my mouth from how we lost this to Milan, but 2 trophies at the same time, and the Champions League campaign. No, it has to be, yeah, it has to be world class actually, because of what the situation that he came in. If you had told me at the beginning of the season that he would achieve this, I would have been like, wow. But let's give this guy time to cook for sure. Let's give this time to cook for sure. And yeah, we don't have a vice Brozovic, but at the same time, you don't have to stick Vecino in the bloody as a regista against Torino and put Hakan as a regista against Fiorentina. Like, you don't have to play square pegs in round holes. Like, you don't have to, you can try to change something, try a different formation. So that's on Inzaghi as well. But I'll go with world class. And that's it, guys, for today. I hope you enjoyed this tier list. It went on a little bit longer than I wanted. I was trying to stick to 1 hour, but it went to 1 hour 15. I'm happy with the players, with the tiers that we made there. Yeah. If there's anyone you really disagree with, put it in the comment, like reload the stream later and put it in the comments below. And then tomorrow we'll talk about the what Steven Zhang talked about, the transfer market situation, all that stuff. I know you guys really want to talk about that. We'll talk about news and all that kind of stuff. Thank you everyone that tuned in. Really, really appreciate you. You've been amazing today. The chat was so responsive. Everyone talking, replying really quickly. Really good comments, very good suggestions. You guys all know ball. That's what I like about this community. Thank you, Benjamin. You are the MVP. You guys are the MVP for sure. Appreciate you all. And yeah, if you guys are watching this afterwards, comment down below. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Make sure you leave a thumbs up. Guys, always, oh yeah, I'm not even wearing an Inter shirt, but it's black and blue. Always, Forza Inter, and I'll see you for the next video. Content is coming through, guys. Content will continue to come through all the way through the season. Ciao, ragazzi.